maker,
Nazaria,
on
Mr.
Macromolecules. And today we have an interesting topic to talk about. One thing people nowadays don't really understand are macromolecules. To start off, macromolecules are made up of monomers. This is in a process known as dehydration synthesis. This is when monomers come together with their covalent bonds and form polymers. They will then release water molecules as byproducts. There are 4 types of macromolecules. Nazaria, can you name those for me?
Of course, there are proteins, lipids, carbohydrates, and nucleic acids. Emma, do you think you could tell us more about one of these?
Yes, I can. I'll start with the proteins. First of all, proteins are made up of amino acids. The amino acids make up the protein in a system called dehydration synthesis, which we talked about earlier. In dehydration synthesis of a protein, a water will be removed from 2 amino acids, which will allow a peptide bond to form between them. Remember, a peptide bond will only form in an amino acid. Moving on. The amino group and the carboxyl group are in a protein, and they are used for growth and repair. The amino group will include a nitrogen bonded with 2 hydrogens like so. The carboxyl group will include a carbon double bonded to an oxygen, and that same carbon is bonded to an alcohol. Remember, an alcohol is an oxygen atom bonded with a hydrogen atom. Here's an example of our carboxyl group. An example of the many proteins would be hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is a protein in the red blood cells that carry oxygen throughout the body.
Good job. Now it's time to learn more about another macromolecule. The next one we'll be talking about is nucleic acids. There are 2 types of nucleic acids, DNA and RNA, or deoxyribonucleic acid and ribonucleic acid. DNA is formed from nucleotides. Nucleotides are made of 3 components, a 5-carbon sugar, a nitrogenous base, and a phosphate group. For DNA, there are 4 types of nucleotides: adenine, cytosine, guanine, and thymine. RNA does not contain thymine. Instead, it contains a nucleotide called uracil.
That was great. I think that's enough for us for now, though. Let's hand it over to our first reporter, Nick, and see what he has to say.
Hello, my name is Nicholas, and I'm here with the Mr. Macromolecules show. I'm here, and I'd like to introduce our first guest, Mr. Todd Smith. Welcome to the stage, sir.
Thank you.
We're going to be talking about a pretty interesting topic today. We're going to be talking about macromolecules. You think you know anything about lipids?
Yeah.
What do you believe you know?
That's what frogs sit on in a pond.
No, sir, I think you misunderstood the question. Do you know anything about lipids?
Oh, I misunderstood. I thought you said lily pads.
Yes, sir. Well, I'm here to teach you, so it's okay.
Okay.
Lipids are macromolecules, which include 3 things: fats, waxes, and oils. Their primary function is energy storage. Now, do you think you know anything about triglycerides?
Not really.
You've never.
You think you can tell me something about it?
Of course I can. That's what I'm here for.
Okay.
Triglycerides are lipids made of 2 parts: glycerol and 3 fatty acids. Triglycerides are also the major form of fat stored in the body. Steroids are also another form of lipids, which provide membrane support and serve as hormones such as cholesterol and, as you can see, testosterone.
Testosterone.
Yes, sir. As I mentioned, the 3 fatty acids. One is saturated fats, which are long chains with no double bonds. On the other hand, unsaturated fatty acids have double bonds, so they're able to absorb more hydrogen atoms. Yes, sir. That's kind of how that works.
Double or single?
Yes, sir. We can learn about that later.
Oh.
Trans fat is a fat that forms when a liquid is turned from a liquid to a solid by the addition of a hydrogen atom. This is called hydrogenation. Here's a picture of saturated, unsaturated, and trans fats. So, Mr. Smith, after this lesson, do you feel that you're aware of lipids any better?
Good bit more than I was before. I know they're not lily pads now.
Yes, sir. We're glad to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Now we'd like to send it over to our other reporter, Griffin.
We're ready? Hey everyone, Griffin here reporting from Spartanburg, South Carolina with my dad, Kane Fuller. So Kane Fuller, what do you know about carbohydrates?
Not a whole lot.
Not a whole lot? Well, carbohydrates include sugars, starches, cellulose, and glycogen. Sugars provide immediate energy for cells. Simple sugars include glucose, lactose, and fructose. And since these are made of only 1 carbohydrate, they are known as monosaccharides. Monosaccharides can be linked together through the process of dehydration synthesis. Water is removed from 2 monosaccharides, resulting in a covalent bond between the 2 molecules. When two monosaccharides are linked together through the process of dehydration synthesis, the molecule becomes a disaccharide. That's two monosaccharides linked together. Examples of disaccharides are lactose, maltose, and sucrose. When more than two monosaccharides are linked together, it becomes a polysaccharide. Starches are mainly monosaccharides linked together in a single chain. This is an example of a polysaccharide. Cellulose are polysaccharides that plants use for structure, and glycogen is an animal starch that is mostly stored in the human liver until it's converted to fat. I hope you were able to learn something from this interview. Now back to Emma and Nazaria.
All right, so that concludes our episode of the Mr. Macromolecules show. We hope you learned a lot about some macromolecules, which are
Carbohydrates, lipids, nucleic acids, and proteins.
exactly. So, hope you enjoyed. I'm Emma,
I'm Nazaria.
and this is Mr. Macromolecules.